He talked to former Capitol Police Officer Tarik Johnson about what happened that day and what Officer Johnson tried to do as the events were unfolding. Take a look at this.
Once protesters moved inside the building, Johnson's first concern was the safety of senators. His job was to protect them. In rising panic, he called over the radio for direction and assistance. Even now, 2 years later, he is baffled by the response he got.
I was requesting permission to evacuate the Senate side, the Senate chambers, because I had a clear line of sight to get them out the Senate door, and I didn't get permission. The dispatcher called a couple times to see if I can get permission. No response.
With Yogananda Pittman and his other supervisors unresponsive, Johnson says he decided to begin the evacuation of senators himself.
The person that I thought was going to authorize the evacuation didn't do it. I wanted to get those members of Congress out as quickly as I could. That's why I initiated, those evacuations. Me being disciplined, it wasn't as important as not getting the members of Congress and their staff to safety.
Footage we reviewed seems to bolster Johnson's.
Okay, so this is interesting. You have a Capitol police officer not getting a response when he's saying, hey, mob of people, and they're supposed to be evil white supremacists and insurrectionists and blah, blah, blah. Mob of people on their way into the Capitol. Could we maybe get the senators and the congressmen out of here? He's getting no response. So he does it himself. If you are all in on the idea that this was a true insurrection, that these were violent people who were going to kill members of Congress, overthrow the government, and usher in a wave of MAGA terror or something, then this is the hero in the story. Isn't this guy the hero in the story? Because he actually did get senators and congressmen out. He also happens to be a young black guy, which again, if you're playing the identity politics game, why doesn't everyone know his name? Why doesn't everyone know the name Tarik Johnson? Here is a young police officer who saved the senators on January 6th. Everyone should know his name. Alas, we do not, and you're not going to believe this. He got fired.
The video shows Johnson conducting the evacuation of senators from the chamber. Yet Tarik Johnson was not rewarded for what he did. He was punished. A photo emerged of Johnson wearing a MAGA hat outside the Capitol. That picture cost him his career.
Sometimes I look at it and like, thank you, God, for blessing me with this hat. And sometimes I'm like, wow, I wish this hat never came in my life.
A Biden voter, Johnson says he donned the hat in an effort to rescue fellow officers he believed were trapped in the building.
I figured if I had the hat on, it'd be easier for me to navigate my way through the crowd. It was basically self-preservation and de-escalation, and I needed to get up those steps. I couldn't say what would have happened walking through that crowd without it.
But for the crime of wearing a Trump hat, Johnson found himself suspended. Ultimately, he resigned from the force and lost his pension. He now works part-time as a furniture mover.
All right, so this is really wild. So Tarik Johnson, Biden voter, puts the hat on because he did have some concerns about the people, and he thought, all right, I'm going to get in there as a police officer. Let me put the hat on. They'll think I'm a friendly, and I can continue to do my work. And if people need to be rescued or moved or whatever it might be, I can go ahead and do it. This guy is the hero of the story. He ultimately got suspended for that. Then, as Tucker said, he resigns. Now he's moving furniture, and nobody knows his name for the set of people that love to really drive someone's name into your brain relentlessly, often when they don't deserve it as heroes. That guy should be considered a hero.